Brandon Sanderson has managed to craft multiple different distinct and interesting stories in his different novels. From Warbreaker to Mistborn to the Stormlight Archive, he's crafted narratives that I firmly believe will become staples and key pillars of the fantasy genre. That said, his immense creativity doesn't end there, however. Besides the unique and interesting stories he's managed to craft in his novels, he's also created multiple distinct worlds, unique planets all with their own history, geography, people, and magic systems. All of these planets all reside within his shared universe called the Cosmere. In this Cosmere 101 series, I've made a lot of different videos covering multiple aspects of the Cosmere. And in this video, I'd like to take the time to talk about one of these planets. The world we'll be talking about today is Sel. It's a world we haven't had much information on, but it's one that's quite important in the grand scheme of things. So if you're ready, sit back, relax, and let's dive into the planet of Sel. History, politics, and geography. The main continent we know of on the world of Sel is known by two names. In the east, this continent is called Sikla, and in the west it is called Opalon. Regardless of what you call it, the continent houses two of the most influential nations on the known world. The one nation is the large and powerful Fjordell Empire. The empire is ruled by a single monarch and has expanded its influence through the spread of the state religion Shu Dereth. Throughout clever use of this religion and military conquest, the Fjordell Empire has overthrown multiple kingdoms. Under the control of the Fjordell Empire is the Duladel Republic, Jindo, Jador, Hragan, Gaint, Hrovel, and Svorden. The other nation on this continent is the nation of Arelon. It is the only independent nation left on Opalon, and has remained so thanks to the powerful magic harbored in its capital city of Elantris. They also remain largely unaffected by the Derethi religion due to their own belief in the religion of Shu Korath. North of the continent of Sikla is another unnamed continent. This continent holds another two powerful nations. One such nation is the Kingdom of Teod. Teod is close enough to be in the cultural influence of Opalon, but being on a peninsula, their navy has prevented any attempts by the Fjordell Empire to invade. And due to their proximity to Arelon and the cultural influence, they also worship the religion of Shu Korath, which has helped deter the influence of Fjordell further. The other nation on this continent is further away from Arelon, and thus very little cultural influence has crossed over. This nation is the Rose Empire, and it is the closest analogue to an Asian culture we've seen in the Cosmere. They have many provinces under their control, which includes areas such as Maipon, Muladil, Ukurgi, and Jamar. As you can see, unlike our previous Cosmere 101 video where we discussed the world of Nalthis, Sel is a world filled with multiple different powerful nations. But that is not the only interesting aspect of Sel. Another part of this world that makes it very unique is the manifestation of the investiture on the planet. Shards and investiture. The world of Sel has a very unique situation when it comes to the shards and the investiture. You see, back during the early days of the planet, long before any major human civilization had begun, two shards came to and invested themselves on the planet. These were the shards of devotion and dominion. These two shards, while not opposed to one another like those on Scadrial, definitely play off one another in a unique way. Shortly after their arrival on the planet, another shard, who shall remain nameless for the sake of spoilers of another Cosmere series, came to the planet as well. There was a great battle, and this shard managed to destroy not only devotion but dominion as well. Both shards were splintered and the vessels killed. The shard responsible for this seems to have wanted nobody else to gain the chance of accessing the investiture of these shattered shards. To accomplish this, it forced the investiture into Sel's cognitive realm through an unknown method. The result was quite interesting, but to explain it we have to briefly touch on some realmatic theory. So if you've seen my video on the topic of realmatic theory, you'll know that the cognitive realm is heavily based on location and space. The entire realm is formed by the perception of humans, and this results in the distortion of places, distances, and shapes of landmasses. The investiture of these two shards were forced into the cognitive realm, and thus melded with the very essence of it. This means that in the physical realm, magic is directly tied to location and the shape of the world. Thus, if you are born in the country of Arelon, there is a high chance you may gain access to the magic of the Elantrians. More on that in a moment. However, this also means that going any far distance away from Elantris would gradually weaken your magic until it basically no longer existed. A person from Mistborn could use their magic too, as long as they were close enough to their homeland. However, even if you put an Elantrian in Mistborn or vice versa, neither would ever be able to do one another's magic. So while this third antagonistic shard succeeded in preventing anyone from somehow claiming all the investiture of devotion or dominion, the investiture can still be accessed by humans if they gain their abilities in the right place. This doesn't, however, bode well for the cognitive realm of Cell though. The investiture forced into that realm is so vast and so dense that it is essentially like an extremely high pressure container. You can access the power, yes, but only by manipulating forms and shapes in ways that will allow some of that super pressurized investiture to leak through. This means that accessing the cognitive realm is incredibly dangerous and thus makes world hopping to and from Cell tremendously difficult. However, now that we've covered how the investiture works, let's briefly go over the different manifestations of investiture on the planet. Cell has the largest diversity of magic systems due to how different locations have changed how investiture can be expressed. In Elantris, for example, investiture is accessed through the Aeon Door. By drawing complex symbols in the air, an Elantrian can access the investiture and shape it in a way that would allow the caster to control exactly how the magic works. This means it is arguably one of the strongest magic systems in the Cosmere. You could, for example, face down an army of Knights Radiant and Mistborn as a single person, but if you had enough time to study and prepare the right symbols, known as Aeons, you could cast a spell that would at once strip all the magic from each enemy and kill them instantly. So it has incredible potential, but due to the preparation time and the fact that it loses power the further away you go from Elantris, it doesn't see much use in the wider Cosmere. In the kingdom of Jindo, they have a martial art similar to Tai Chi from Earth called Che Shan. It's a meditative dance that allows the user to create forms and shapes with their bodies. This provides the practitioner with access to the investiture in the cognitive realm, though how this can be utilized has not been explored much. Another form of magic is that of forgery. This comes from the province of Mistborn and allows the user to create stamps with intricate symbols that alter an object or person's spirit web. If you're aware of realmatic theory, you know just how significant that is. Given enough time and information, a practitioner could create a soul stamp that could turn you briefly into a Knight Radiant or a Mistborn. Theoretically, it could even give you brief access to the Aeon Door like the Elantrians if you wanted. There are some other lesser known forms of magic on Cell as well. One such is blood sealing. Like forgery, it uses stamps, but instead of altering the spirit web, it allows the caster to create wards or control skeletal creatures. Another form of magic is one practiced in the Dakor monasteries, where they etch and shape the bones of people into different shapes and carve ancient symbols into it. This gives you not only indestructible bones and superhuman strength, but also allows you certain abilities like being able to change your appearance or teleport if you use a blood sacrifice. As you can see, there are many different magic systems on Cell, and many we likely don't even know about yet. I've always found this world interesting, and I can't wait for the next Elantris novel to learn more about it. Anyway, that has been it from me for today, guys. Please remember to like and subscribe, and comment down below what world you'd like to see explored next. Thank you very much for watching. My name has been Raven, and I will see you all next time. Take care, everybody.